Although this is the first one I played, technically, it wasn't long before I prematurely decided that it wasn't my thing, and skipped right to Final Fantasy VII for about 10 minutes or so. Then I played the remake of 7, followed by Rebirth. But after a good 10 months or so, I couldn't help but feel like I didn't give the first game enough of a shot. As a matter of fact, I figured I would finish the game before making my final decision. As the most accessible version I know of, I played the Pixel Remaster, which I think is a great idea that should be utilized for more games. 16-bit graphics often prove more timeless. One of the reasons I wasn't interested in the series as a whole was due to the turn-based combat. I'm still very used to fighting enemies in real time rather than having to wait my turn. But if this game is anything to go by, I'm actually excited to give others a try. It comes down to preparation, for the most part. I would lose a number of times because I either didn't have a potion ready or just didn't think to cast a healing spell because I'm an idiot. This is also why, at a point, I turned off the random encounters. You know, the way you level up. The only time I do keep them off now is in the dungeons or caves. I'm already having to deal with monsters hiding in chests and the occasional cloaked enemy, so battles could eventually come off as exhausting. In the later game, I also noticed that at times my party members would deal a ton of damage, like 450, only to deal the damage of 8 their next turn. I assume this is supposed to emulate the feeling of classic Dungeons & Dragons, a metaphorical roll of the dice, if you will. But while this probably adds tension for other players, I found it confusing and somewhat annoying. Something that does help, though, are the new animations. Seeing a character cast a spell or swing a weapon, the enemy flash from damage, and then the number appears, is encouraging, unless it's a randomly low number. And the music is very pleasant. The battle theme is engaging, and even heroic, almost like the game is telling me, you got this. The story is pretty simple, and the characters aren't exactly layered. If you're expecting something akin to BioShock or Metal Gear Solid, don't. This game has one goal of being fun to play, and it is. Then there's the final boss, Chaos. He killed me. A lot. And soon, I found myself grinding. He has no official HP limit, can cast an array of devastating spells, and said spells are unpredictable. This led to irritation, exhaustion, and a moderate drop in my morale. I thought grinding was going to take up the rest of my day, constantly running around the Chaos Shrine and fighting enemies, all of which had become a complete joke at this point, until I felt like everybody was at a high enough level. It really wasn't clear as to what kind of strategy I was supposed to adopt. It was another one of those cases where I felt like the game was actively working against me. Naturally, I consulted a guide whenever I was in a rough spot, but even after using spells it told me to use in order to protect my party, it didn't seem to affect as much as I thought it would, resulting in several game overs. But eventually, I did it. Also, rather randomly. And even then, my thief and monk were dead despite reaching maximum health. Seeing Chaos finally fade away and the credits start to roll, I breathed a sigh of relief. The world was finally safe, thanks to my Warriors of Light. Now that I'm calm again, I can safely say, this game was very good. Although the last third does keep it from being great for me, it doesn't break the game overall. As a matter of fact, I clearly had so much fun that I created a new save file, now utilizing the Warrior class, as I probably should have in the first place. If you're like me and hesitant about trying other games, I'd like to encourage you to leave your comfort zone, just a little bit. You might just have a great time.